culture isn't just this kind of one distinct thing. It's actually made up of a whole bunch of different mini cultures that are interconnected. For example, classroom culture is how a teacher chooses to kind of make class work. Is it a laid-back learning culture where the teachers kind of gives a whole bunch of autonomy to students to learn at the pace they want to learn and they're there to facilitate? Or is it a real kind of personality-driven, pushing expectations, this is what's going to happen, work hard type of different types of cultures? At the same time, you've got student body culture. What are the students like when the teacher's not around? What do they say about the classes? What do they say about different subjects, about different teachers, about the learning that takes place? They are a huge influence on a school. And they can drive or they can hold back change, systemic change. Then you've got teacher culture. So while we might have whole school goals and various other kind of initiatives working in schools, what are teachers like in staff rooms when it's just a couple of them around? At the lunch counter table, wherever you guys have lunch. After work on a Friday, chatting about how stuff went this week. What's the teacher culture like? Are people on board with what's happening, or are they fighting against it? And on top of that, you've got school executive culture, those that are making the decisions in the school. Are they working together? Is there a whole school focus? Is it a culture where you've got competition, where you've got different ideas and resources are actually being siphoned off for different ideas that are contrasting to each other? On top of that, you've got the wider school community. So depending on what kind of school you're in, you might have a school board. You might have a parent-controlled school board if it's an independent school. What kind of influence are they having on the school executive? How are they making decisions, or how are they being influenced, and how are they pushing for change or for the way the school is running? So for example, they might be providing money or resources and prioritising them in a certain way. So on top of that, you've got the media. You've got parents who are huge influencers of culture. They're obviously influencing student body culture massively. This is what school should be about. And on top of that, you've got all these other influences that aren't cultural, but what kind of professional learning is occurring? What are the personalities of the different teachers in the room? What experience? Is it a bunch of new teachers, or is it a bunch of teachers that have been doing this for 20 years and are set in how they do things? Is it a school with huge resources or no resources at all? If so, decisions are going to be made based on what's possible. And change is going to occur at different rates and in different ways. So thinking through culture, it's incredibly complex. And you've really got to actually think about it, especially if you're leading a school and taking everything into account. Because if you miss one, you can have elements, especially if you're trying to change, kind of drive systemic change, you can really influence a school for good, or you can tear a school apart with infighting and different initiatives and resources being used in silly ways because the change has occurred and not everyone was on board.